Amazon guy. Look forward to answering your questions. live in under 5 minutes for our weekly Q&A. Ask me any Amazon question now. Type your question in the comments right now. We'll be going live in just under a minute. Ask Stephen Pope any Amazon question, PPC, SEO, design, and catalog management. You can ask anything. Well, hello there. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and every Friday we do this Q&A where you can come in and ask me any Amazon question. What do you guys think of the new music? First time I've actually ever heard it. My team did it, and this is the first time I've actually seen it. So let me know your thoughts. We switched it out. The old music was causing Facebook to not show our videos as much. So we're trying to test some things new out. We got a couple new members in the house. I3, new member to the channel. Thanks for donating to the channel. We really appreciate it. Tayor, new member to the YouTube channel. We do prioritize member questions. If you guys want to become a member yourself, just hit the join button on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/myamazonguy, if you're joining us from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, or otherwise. All right, so a lot to unpack. Just came back from the AMZ Powwow Conference where we had a blast. More than 700 people were there. I was the keynote speaker, first speaker on stage, kick things off to get things going. I actually did a live Q&A in person, and there were many people who have been to our YouTube channel in the past asking questions, got to ask me a question live for the first time. So if you were at the Powwow Conference, feel free to shout it out in the chat, let everybody know that you were able to see me there and meet me. I'm actually a real human being, you know, that sort of thing. You saw me, you shook my hand or whatnot. We also had the opportunity to go on a lot of media networks in the last 48 hours, including the News Nation in Miami TV station showed up to the Powwow Conference, and that was a blast. We posted the interview on the channel if you guys want to check that out. We actually did the interview live on the AMZ Powwow Conference floor. So that was really fun and neat. On the way home at the airport, I actually did a live interview at the airport from my phone. I'm putting up my phone like this, doing my interview, and it was in Russian. A New York-based TV station doing some Russian interviews. And so I was doing a Skype interview on my phone, translated in Russian. I got to tell you, that was one of the most difficult interviews I've ever done. I could barely understand it. I was literally at the airport, so I heard the sounds coming from the airport announcements and all that fun stuff. To make matters worse, I was doing it on my phone on Skype, and so my face was like zoomed in super tight. I was like that the whole time. So lessons learned, lots of fun. Okay, so let's dive into some questions today. I'm super excited to start these off. We're going to kick it off with I3, our newest member of the YouTube channel. First time ordering a product. Thoughts on using Amazon Global Logistics? I think it looks okay, but I saw your video. If not, do you have a freight forwarder recommendation? So I would say that the breakdowns that we've seen from Amazon are not unique. We've seen them happen at pretty much all freight forwarding. The benefit of using Amazon's freight forwarding is that you do have a little bit of a guarantee, and it's a little less stressful because it's all in one location. They do handle a few things that you wouldn't normally have to handle. The downside is that their communication is atrocious. And as we documented on our kind of investigative story, if you will, one particular person was lied to by Amazon, and the dates were just months and months in the works, and a shipment got lost and it was delivered to the wrong location. So you're not guaranteed a successful journey by using Amazon Global Logistics by any stretch. So decide on your own whether you want to use it. I do not personally endorse any freight forwarding. Logistics and sourcing is something I personally stay out of myself because it's such a complex ecosystem, completely separate, different from any of the marketing and digital understanding that I have of Seller Central. So if any of you guys want to plug the freight forwarder, you're very welcome to post that in the chat to give I3 a point in the right direction. By the way, guys, I'm going to do a quick plug. We have a new website that's not functional yet called sellercentraljobs.com. This is me just letting you know it's coming. Like the branding's not even up or anything like that. It's like a coming soon sort of thing here. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to be posting all of your applications as well as employers, and we're going to try and marry you guys up. It's very much like an online jobs.ph, but this is going to be for all things Seller Central Jobs, and it's going to be for all nationalities. And of course, if you guys head over to magschool.com, you guys can get your certificates, which will be a big edge for you. So mag-school.com, you can get certificates in PPC, logistics, design, SEO, reviving sales. We have a couple things that are kind of coming, including a parentage course that might be live as early as next week, as well as launching on Amazon. One other thing that's coming is that we're going to have a subscription model for my infographics. And that seems like, oh, why would anybody spend 25 bucks a month on an infographics service? But you guys have seen the content. It's some of the best stuff online about how to troubleshoot any problem. One thing I'm literally working on right before I started the podcast was how to fix a hidden suppression for one of our customers. And it's a very messed up listing. The BSR doesn't show up. It's hiddenly suppressed. You can't find it on Amazon. And so I'm actually making an infographic on common things to troubleshoot for a hidden suppression, including removing the word gift from the title, including uploading a resolution image above 2000 by 2000, and making sure that the UPC is loaded, common things like that. So you're going to have access to some of the latest and greatest infographics, and we're going to update it every month. It's going to show up at magschool.com. You're also going to be able to take these certificates and go over to sellercentraljobs.com, that is, and then create a profile showing your certificates, and then try to find the right employer for you, and they can find you. So that's something that's coming. We're going to make it free for job seekers. So we have had more than 300 people apply every day to My Amazon Guy, and we can't hire everybody. So this is my way of saying, hey, there's a lot of qualified candidates out there. I think there's 50,000 jobs we need to fill. What better way than to connect people who want to work at My Amazon Guy but can't quite get in, and then help them find their job somewhere else and give them the training and the access and the connection. So that's something we're really excited, and we're working on, one of the biggest projects we're doing right now. And we hope you guys will support that. It's going to be great for employers too, because then you guys can go in there and poke around and see like, oh, well, this guy's got all of Steven's certificates over at Mag School. He's probably a little bit more qualified than the next guy who has none, that sort of thing. All right. So we got to, let's do the next question from Tyre, since he's a new member here. Tyre, welcome to the channel. If you can find their question, let's go to that one next. And if not, we'll go to the other ones. I3 products has demand and low competition, but I can only order so many units. What would you recommend preventing a sellout of stock before my next shipment arrives? Or let it happen and try and re-rank the listing. So I would recommend raising the prices. This is something that I think margin is king this year in 2022. Inflation is a total insert swear word, and it's a problem, right? So like the government keeps saying, yeah, record inflation, it's 9% right now. It's 25, folks. It's freaking 25% right now. So raise your prices, slow down the sales, do not stock out. The number one rule of Amazon is what? Never stock out. So don't do it. Don't do it. It's a bad thing. Raise the prices. Kevin, always good to see you from Lakeland, Florida there. I was down at the Palm Beach just the other day for that AMZ Powwow Conference. All right, Tyor, thank you for becoming a new member of the channel. We're going to your question next. Last time, I didn't deliver the question right. We are selling in the USA and in Europe marketplaces as well. PL pages have already been created. Sometimes we need to change the PL images. And normally I would think of PL as private label, so I'm not 100% sure if that's what he means. In the USA market, not European marketplace, product listing, that's got to be what it is. How do we just change the product images existing in the USA market without changing the images in the European market? All right, so the way to do this is if you use the same UPC code across multiple marketplaces, sometimes the data does combine. The benefit of doing this, though, is the reviews often will combine, though we've seen that kind of come up and down sometimes. It doesn't always happen that way. But by and large, if you use the UPC, it's beneficial, or EAN, depending on which program you're using. In any case, if you want the photos to be unique per platform, this is entirely possible. What you need to do is load a template file to multiple countries. And once you do that and you've got the data specific to the country, the photos can be unique. if for whatever reason this doesn't work, you follow that advice and you're like, what else can I do? The next step is to file brand registry tickets. One thing, Tyre, that you may not have done yet is filed for brand registry in Europe specifically. Brand registry is done by platform. So if you have brand registry in the US market, you also need to re-register it for the European market and connect it over there. And then you might have the secondary Seller Central account in the European market. Make sure that the admin email from brand registry is added to both accounts. Hopefully you've used the same admin email across your brand registry, your admin of Seller Central in the US, as well as in Europe. And if you fail to do that, you may run into some data challenges. But try those things, report back, Tyre. Hopefully that's helpful. But brand registry tickets, loading UPCs and template files to multiple locations, probably going to help you out pretty good here. I was dancing. All right, David, I wish I had the context on that. All right. Dear wife, Emily, if you're watching this, I forgot to grab water before my podcast today. Help me out. Farhad, can you provide feedback on my product title, my running it through Helium 10 to see if there's any changes you'd recommend? And then we've got the ASIN. All right, so let's check this out. We're going to screen share over here, and we're going to go type in the ASIN. So we're going to go over to Amazon.com. Type in the ASIN, Bravo 09 PYCM 5NK. Let's make sure I typed it in right. Looks like I'm okay here. This kind of looks a little familiar. I feel like I've seen this before. All right, I'm on the right page. And beautiful listing. Don't show me any humanization or pictures of somebody's face until all the way down here, though. I think that's a mistake. Opportunity. Go ahead and use one of those secondary images to show me like somebody holding it in their hands, just like this, but looking at the camera and smiling, right? Like that's a huge miss on the customer avatar setup. But your question was specifically on Cerebro and some of the indexing. So we're going to head over there and check that out. And let's go to this size shot right there. All right. So Cerebro, one of my favorite tools. You guys, by the way, you can get 50% off at Helium. Use promo code MyAmazonGuy50. Your product is upside down. So you guys have heard me talk about the golden ratio of keywords. I like to see one PPC sponsored keyword for every 2 organic. What this tells me is that you're over aggressive with sponsored keywords. Guys, it worked. It worked. She brought me some water. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate it. You want to make a cameo today? No cameo from the wife today, but we love you dearly. She even got me the Mama Bear cup here. Check this out, guys. All right, I'm drinking from the Mama Bear cup. You can see my kids' names on there. This is one of my products, by the way. We sell this. It's kind of fun to be able to have your own kids on your own cup, right? All right, so your own kids on your cup. Emily off to the side here is it's better. It's good to have my own kids, not somebody else's kids. All right, I'm showing the wrong screen here. Nope, that was the right screen. Okay. All right, so we got 1,000 organic keywords to 2,200 sponsored. We need to have the opposite ratio. This tells me there's 4,400 keywords you probably could index for, which means you're upside down almost 3,000 keywords. So that's what the data suggests, high-level macro view. So now the question is what is wrong? What's not working here? First thing I would do is I would look at some of these sponsored keywords that you're not indexing on and try and figure out why. So here's a big one, office desk decor. Well, not the first thing I would have thought of when I think of your listing, but let's go to the listing and see if you have office. Nope, no exact match. How about office desk? You do have office desk, but not the word decor in an exact match. How about the word decor? Got a decor over there and a decor there, and there's desk decor, but you don't have the exact match for office desk decor. So one of the things you could do to index for a keyword, 11,000 search volume, your sponsored rank number 1, clearly a keyword that's important to you, but you're not indexing for it. This is a really easy one to fix, Farhan. Just go ahead and go on your listing, add an exact match anywhere on the listing, and the chances of this indexing in under 48 hours are fairly high. I think in your case, though, it's going to be a little trickier because if you're in PPC rank 1 and you have soft matches, phrase matches, but not quite the full exact match, of the keyword on the listing and it's not indexing, that is very troublesome. So I'm not sure if it will take a little bit more effort and work on that one. Could just be a bad keyword that you're never going to convert on. That's also possibly true. But same exercise, rinse and repeat this repeatedly down this list of keywords that you're sponsored but not organically ranked on. You could probably spend the next 40 hours of your Amazon Seller Central time working on this one issue, and it would be worthwhile. You're going to spend a lot of time writing copy and adding in keywords. The listing is overall beautiful and well done, but your indexing is very soft, and that is problematic. Maybe one of the other things we want to look at is the sales rank. So let's see how long this listing's existed. I mean, it's an old listing, at least almost a year, back to January of 2022 here. So we're looking at 7 months. So I think you have an indexing problem for sure. You got the small business badge. Congrats on that. You probably followed one of our videos to get that one done. If some of you are watching this and don't have your small business badge, just type into Google small business, my Amazon guy. You'll find my video on that one. John, see if you can drop that one in the chat as well. That way people can find it. That's a really popular thing to do right now. So give that a whirl, Farhan. Report back. Let me know if that works for you. And I'm going to drink from my mama bear here. David was dancing to the new music just like we are. All right, now I get the reference. That makes more sense, connecting that in. Very, very good. Getting static noises when sharing the screen, John says behind the scenes. Let me know how I'm doing now. I don't know if maybe the mic cord is getting pulled too much, and then that's part of the problem. Here's what we're going to do. Loosening the cord up. Let's see if that helps. Hopefully it does. All right, let me know. John, you're welcome to put that on screen when you're trying to communicate too if you need, just in case I'm not looking at Slack here. All right, David says, got a few UPS invoices in the postal mail. I've been doing FBA for years. Small invoices. Any idea why? This has never happened to me. I wonder if you have a B2B program inside of Seller Central that is charging invoices, but for some reason they're going directly to you in the paper snail mail instead of just charging through Seller Central. I recommend, David, that you file a ticket with a screenshot of the invoice and ask if Amazon was sending that. The other thing is, do you do any FBM at all? Is there any components in that? Maybe you have a UPS account and you're shipping something in like that, and you requested invoices, or Amazon automatically started doing this, beknownst to anybody. I've never seen anything like this, though. Usually just goes straight out of the account. So if anybody has seen this as well, please direct a comment towards David. Let's help him out. Karen says, good to see you. Part 1 of 3. Currently making a listing. I've completed MAG SEO course, made notes, but need some clarification. Can you please go over SEO phase 1 in detail? I have some confusion on the back end. All right, let's see part 2 and 3 here. Search terms. Do we put important keywords that are in the title also in the back end of search terms? Answer, yes, during phase 1, and no during phase 2, and yes during phase 3 and 4. That's why this is confusing. We're the only agency on the market that talks about our SEO plan and runs multiple phases. And there's a reason why running multiple phases is a good idea. At each phase, you have a different component of success that you're seeking. In phase 1, it's about indexing. We've found the fastest way to index is to put the keywords in multiple locations. During phase 2, it's about incremental indexing. This is why you're going to pull some of those keywords out of the search term field that would be in the title because you've already indexed for them. So it's about getting new words. Phase 3 is about the strike zone. And that's why during the strike zone update, words that are in rank 20 through 50 very well may need to be back added to the search term field. And phase 4 is the market share update, also called the ICAP marketing funnel. Impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. ICAP marketing funnel, as I've coined the term. And during the market share, you're able to gain additional market share by chasing keywords in the search query performance report And we have a really awesome video on the ICAP marketing funnel. Let's post it in the comments for the audience, John, so we can get them access to that. And let me read the rest of this question here. Do we put important keywords that are in, go back to the question too, I didn't finish reading that one, in their full exact match form? Yes. What if doing this has us repeat words in the back end? No, don't need to repeat any of the words. If you have, let's say you got 3 words and they share a base of 1 or 2 words, in the search term field specifically, do not repeat any word at all. But if you have a special keyword that you're really, really working on, I do recommend the exact match in any location, including the search term field, title, bullets, description, A+ content, but not at the cost of repeating one of those words specifically in the search term field. I know that's a little convoluted, but when in doubt, add exact matches wherever you can. Let's go to part 3. Main keywords is dog, coffee mug. This would be in the title and in the back end in that exact match form. But the second most important keyword is coffee mug. Do we repeat coffee mug in the back end? And the answer is no. Don't repeat it. We have a long queue of questions here. If you want to jump the queue, feel free to put a sticker in the chat and donate to the channel. We'll jump you in the queue if you got urgency today. Oso says, when I upload images to A+ content, the quality gets reduced a lot. I tried to compress them and reduce the pixels, but nothing has worked. What should I do to maintain the quality? There are very few questions I get that I don't know the answer to. This is a question that I've had for 4 years and have not been able to fix. I've talked to all of my designers. They all come back with the same challenge and the same problem with limited solution. We don't know how to fix this one. Resolution is consistently lost when loading images into the Seller Central platform. Unfortunately, you can resize them, but it still doesn't seem to fix it. You can try and reduce the size of the file. That does help with some modest decompression issues, but by and large, this one has not been solved. We've talked to many experts on this one, have come up very short. If any of you guys have a source on this question and you want to add it to our knowledge base, we would love to hear about it. Email us at podcast@myamazonguy.com. Sorry, Osos. Robert says, what are your thoughts on Amazon posts? Any best practices? Actually, we just put out a new slide deck on this one, and I'm going to go ahead and show it because I think it's really neat. Anybody fans of World of Warcraft? Well, you're going to like this one, guys. How to set up social posts. First, you're going to go to post.amazon.com/profile, select the brand, upload the logo, and start posting. Then here are some best practices. You're going to have some JPEGs or PNGs, 640 by 640 or larger. Use some color. Format must be RGB. You're going to load that logo. Notice how it's kind of a circle form, so you don't want to put anything outside of it. After you get the logo on, you're ready to make your post. Hit the Create Post button. It's going to look like this. Then once you posts will only show on mobile at the bottom of a detail page typically, though we're starting to see these show up on the bottom of the desktop pages. We've also started to see that on a storefront page, you can see the list of social posts as well as the follow button. Why do social posts matter? Any best practices? Free impressions? Nobody doesn't want that. Keyword ranking improvements. We've tested this out. If you put in keywords that you're trying to rank for into social posts, it does help you index. It also increases your brand followers. Notice how you have that follow button right around the brand store right there. So hopefully you guys check that out. That's our PDF on social posts. You can find that. We've posted that on LinkedIn, I believe. Not 100% sure if we've actually released this one now that I think about it. But those are some of my favorite best practices. Check that out. Geraldine, why don't we load that slide deck to our social post page on the blog and refresh that. Add that in there so people can download that. We've got Ryan. Thank you for the super sticker. We really appreciate it. And I don't see Ryan's question. If you find that, get that one up in queue next. Otherwise, let's keep going. I think Tian was in deck here. At what phase we should start hiring agencies to handle PPC and SEO. So I would say until you're spending $4,000 on PPC, I would not hire an agency. You'd be better off wasting some ad spend until right around $4,000. After that, if you don't have the time to manage the PPC, you're not studying it, sleeping, drinking it, and doing 5 hours of PPC a week, then that's when I would delegate that to an agency to help you out. It makes a significant impact. It is very worthwhile. There are some super advanced techniques, campaign strategies where you're going to want to engage an agency. So very, very important. The SEO component, a little bit different. I would say that you can engage an SEO agency at any stage of a life cycle of a brand. And that's because the value of SEO is a sunk cost. Therefore, any investment you make will pay dividends over time. PPC, it's like immediate value. And if it doesn't work, you can stop it. SEO, though, is permanent and has long-lasting endeavor effects. And it's just a really, really important thing to always be monitoring and continuously optimizing. Case in point, you wouldn't set up a $20,000 PPC campaign and then never go back and optimize a bid. Same thing with SEO. You got a $20,000 campaign. You just haven't spent any money. It's your own time, blood, sweat, and tears making designs and putting keywords in. Go back and continuously optimize it just like you would PPC. It is as effective, as impactful, and super helpful. So, Tian, if you want to have a sales call with us, you can go over to myamazonguy.com/book, and you guys can select a call to talk to one of our account executives. We have same-day appointments available, and you can talk to my father, Dan Pope, as well as John Aspinall. Those are our inbound account executives, myamazonguy.com/book. All right, let's go to the next one. Josh says, hey, we got a fiver on Josh here. All right, let's ramp this one up. Happy Friday. I launched 2 new products preserving honeymoon period by setting the offer date, launch date, and release date to the future. This guy's watched our channel before, I can tell. Once the inventory checked in as available, I changed the 3 dates to the previous day. On Sunday, I changed the date to Saturday. All right. Now my listing says inactive, out of stock, while at the same time saying there are over 75 units available. Received an email saying the product's inventory is stranded to deleted listing, but I never deleted the listing and it's still there. Click relist button. 3 days ago, nothing happened. So good news, Josh. Your 2 things are unrelated. It's not the release date causing the stranded, most likely. Also, the thumbnail on the back end of Amazon shows when fulfilled by all, filter circle is selected. Thumbnail says no image available when fulfilled by Amazon, filter circle is selected. That last part, don't follow that entirely. But Josh, what I would say is you have a catalog issue of some sort. What I would recommend that you do is a full template upload. You can go into the back end of Seller Central and you can go to log into go in there and work on some of the data and download a backup of the catalog. And then once you download the backup of the catalog, you're going to be able to make an adjustment, fill in the missing pieces, and reload it. So give that a whirl. Check that out. Let me know how that goes. Josh, you might need a coaching call. You might want to go and book some catalog troubleshooting with us. I'd recommend Shaban, who can help you out with that. And you can go to myamazonguy.com, click on the coaching button right here, and select Shaban. He's perfect for troubleshooting issues like this. Coming off Prime Day, can you talk about the hangover effect on sales and traffic? What to expect in terms of drop-off? Any adjustments in PPC to make the interim period? All right, so I would say there's probably no wrong answer to this question. PPC costs spiked during Prime Day. It was an effective time period. Lots of people got traffic, doubled the sales pretty much, like 90% sales up for most of our clients on a single day. Had a little bit of a halo effect going into day 2. Not as good, but still pretty decent. And so now people are going to start lowering their PPC spend. The results will be horrid today. Very, very poor results today, I would expect, coming out of Prime Day. But in terms of hangover effect on sales and traffic, Any of the sales that you generate from Prime Day will increase your BSR, will help you leapfrog, and help you with indexing conversion. CTR rates are going to be higher during those time periods. So all of these things are going to be very, very helpful. The question is are your listings going to outperform the competitors during the same time period? And most likely they will if you are adjusting the PPC properly. So how can you focus on that right now? I would lower the bids down, expect some softness, expect ACoS to go up, and that's completely normal. This is going to be a very weak week that we're going to be going into, third week in July. So a lot of theoretical advice on this one. Every category is going to be a little bit different, though. Farhan says, I created a PPC campaign for strike zone keywords. However, they are not profitable. What can I do to continue to rank higher for those keywords? So ranking higher for keywords, it could be taken two ways. One would be organically ranking, and that's what I think Farhan is talking about. The other would be the PPC position, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., top of search and whatnot, and you have to bid higher to get those higher positions. But if they're not profitable for PPC, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be good for you organically. And if you want them to rank higher, run through the phases of SEO that we talk about, 1 through 4, and try and put exact matches of the keywords into your title, your bullets, your description, your A+ content, and various forms. Those will be extremely important to try and move the needle here. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else I can add here. We've got hours and hours of video specifically. But if you're in the strike zone already and you've got the exact matches, PPC is generally one of the best ways to move them up further. Farhan, I would also ask you, go look at your ICAP search query performance report and see like how that's doing in comparison. Like, are the words on the search query performance report, how is your market share? Do you have a pyramid or do you have a tornado? Do you have a traffic problem or do you have a conversion problem? Are you losing people at the top of the funnel or are you losing people at the bottom of the funnel, right? As you go through impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases, you may have a different scenario dependingly. Fahad says, when is it a good time to put the price up and by how much as a percentage? If sales velocity drops but profit stays the same, is that a good trade-off or should I expect to be making more profit? This one is a complex question and there's no wrong answer. It depends on your goal. If your goal is to increase the velocity to gain market share, in a nutshell, I would generally say I would prefer the lower price at the same profit and turn more units. Now, the downside to that is it does take a little bit more work to move the units, but the upside is market share. And generally speaking, market share is preferable in a static profit share scenario. There could be some counterclaims to this depending on your supply chain and your inventory position, but I would probably err on the side of market share on this question. Karen says, for anyone seeking information on sourcing Alibaba, Good Life Warrior YouTube channel is the best channel for this. She is amazing. I actually have not heard of her before, but thank you for the tip, Karen. Jeff says, why does Amazon publish reviews in the US from other countries, even if they are bogus? I can't do anything about them from US Seller Central. This happens all the time. What happens is you got a hijacker in Canada and they sell a fake item. You get the review there and it's showing up. Unfortunately, I don't have a solution on this one, Jeff. But what I would do is I would load your inventory to these other countries and I would file trademark infringements and get those other sellers taken down. You can also file product review removals. We do have a guide on this. Negative product review removal guide can be found at my Amazon guide. I'll post a link to that in the chat here. And it will be very beneficial if you can get them removed, but you only get about a 3% chance, unfortunately. Pretty low chance you're going to get that removed, but that's in the chat there for you, Jeff. Farhan says, my conversion rate is approximately 4.5%. I've read that a good conversion rate is 10 to 15%. Can you take a look at my listing to see if there's any glaring issues? All right, let's take a look at his ASIN. We're going to go over to Amazon here. We're going to type it in. Bravo 09 Paul YCM5NK. All right, so this is the same one. Yep. Okay. And the conversion rate is 4.5%. So I think that the reason the conversion rate is low is because you don't have the customer avatar, and it's kind of difficult to understand what this is in 5 seconds, right? So, like, is this something that I build myself and then put it on my desk? How do we know that in 5 seconds, right? So, okay, you got the word build there to your credit, but when you see it like this, does somebody immediately understand it? And the secondary image stack is potentially helpful here to answering this question, but it's not immediately clear. And so probably what I would do on your listing is I would start with the main image, and I would include a packaging shot in the corner. I would put the packaging off on the corner here so that somebody can see, like, hey, this is the final form of it, and here's how it's shipped. So you have the items. I think you actually do a fairly good job of explaining what it is, but notice how it took me a half a minute to figure it out. So the best way to figure it out quickly is to add a packaging shot into the main image from the get-go. So try that out. I think that's the biggest issue. You need pictures of people smiling and touching the product and looking at the camera. This is the only face shot you have, and he's not smiling and he's not looking at the camera. Although it does kind of give us a size banana for scale. Like I would have thought this was significantly smaller. Do you see how, like, the assumptions the consumer is making? Like, let's go back down here. How many of the consumers watching this podcast right now picked up on the fact that this is bigger than a hand? I did not pick that up, right? And so clearly you need a shot, a lifestyle shot on somebody's desk showing the size of this item, because 6 inches by 6 inches next to a plant is not doing it for me. Ditch this image and show me an image on an office desk with a picture of a person smiling and looking at the camera and saying, I built that. It's cool, right? I think that's where your conversion issues are, Farhan. I'm really confident on this recommendation. Tyre says, let's say if I bid 99 cents for a keyword, CPC sometimes becomes higher than actual bid. Why is it so? This question has come up a couple times in the last month. Amazon's TNC or help files, I think if you read them and you look it up, is that they can go over 5 or 10% above the bid, and it's kind of an algorithm issue. It's not something they're trying to do intentionally. But the bid over time on average should be right around that 90 cents. If it's higher, though, I think you should file a reimbursement claim with Amazon and say, hey, here's my bid. Here's what you charged me. That isn't fair. The other thing I would look at is make sure you don't have the bid modifiers in place. Some of you might have an up modifier that you just may not understand or have it in place. So if you want 90 cents and you got a fixed bid, it shouldn't go much higher than 5% of that, but it can on occasion. ASIN review time. We got Jeff posting an ASIN in here. All right, let's put it on deck and see what we got. I love doing ASIN reviews. If you guys Google ASIN review, you'll see hundreds of our ASIN reviews. So check those out. Lots of good tips you can learn from them. All right, so right off the bat, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about a face shot, smiling and looking at the camera. This is it, guys. This is the standard right here. Very well done, Jeff. I think that's incredibly well done for a main image. You got the packaging shot off to the side, just like I talked about in the second last question previously. We get a repeat of this just with a woman, which is a very nice thing as well. So, hey, you can use this for shaving. Hey, you can use this for beauty. Notice how I'm looking at the photos before I look at the text. I haven't read a single thing about the product. I have no idea what it is other than it's a mirror so far. And it's a Shavewell, apparently. Shavewell company. I see that now here. And okay, we got a little contact shot right there. Oh, we can put this in the shower. Oh, look, that's a pretty good shot right there, showing me how to use and demonstrate the product. Very well done. Image stack A+. Really, really well done. So as we go through the listing, 20,000 reviews. Oh my goodness. Way to go on that. Amazon's choice for shave mirror for shower. Obviously, that's going to be a positive. So let's go through the title here. Anti-fog shower mirror, fogless bathroom shaving. So clearly they think whoever made this listing might have been Jeff. Fog or fogless. have been added to the title here. So the question is that appropriate for the keyword density and the indexing? You'd have to really review that to figure that one out. Frameless, portable, ideal for travel, camping, gym, unbreakable. Larger design here. No more suction cups to fall off. Fog free, handheld and removable, made in the USA, easy install. So clearly what's really well done on this listing, it's really zoned in on what the product is, what it's supposed to do, and a well dang good job done on that. So on the design aspects, those are going well. Let's see if we can find anything of benefit. So some stock out concerns here and here. Let's go to the 1 year shot. So sales rank at 4,762 on the average. So basically, since right around May, we've got a little softer here. Lowered the price to see if we could regain it. Didn't work. Started going up. Although since Prime Date, done a little bit better. List price was loaded to the products. That should be very beneficial. Does the list price show strike through? It does. So notice, guys, one of the other tips I gave previously earlier in the podcast was to increase your list price higher than your sell price. Guess what they did? July 3rd, they added the list price at $15, and now they have a nice little strike through right there. That is a good method. It's an old school. This has been around for a very long time. List price made up. MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, totally made up thing. Oh my goodness, this brand story shot. I love it. Freaking love this. The color, the picture, the crispness. The one thing I think is missing here is the right-hand scroll. Jeff, I think you can add in a little bit of more additional story product, push it, use the real estate, but fantastic design. Just really zoned in designs. Let's look at a random photo here. We're going to inspect the element, see if there is alt text. Really good job there. So very difficult to find things to do on this listing. It is a very freaking good listing, and it's in the top 4,000, so I would expect nothing less. Let's look at one last thing. Really, only 403 sponsored keywords, 1,400 organic. That is significantly smaller than I expected on a freaking 20,000 review listing here. Very, very shallow. I would have expected that to be 3 times higher. So clearly some of the work that needs to be done on this listing is organic search and keywords. Let's look at some of the search volume here and see where the ranking has come. So shower mirror, that is basically the main driver of the sales on this listing. So if we looked at other shower related keywords, we'd probably want to really zero in here. But case in point, we're going to go click on shower mirror here, and we're going to click on somebody else's. So we got toiletry right there at 9,100. Got Zozo right there, and they're ranked about the same. So this is going to be a fair comparison. Wouldn't be surprised if this was a Chinese company. Let's go check that out. We got Zoyo over here. Where'd they move that? I thought they had the addresses here. There it is. Oh, yep. And of course, Chinese. Yep, called it. So we got a like item. Their listing is not as well designed. It's still pretty decent. No A+ content. Let's go look at their keywords. I'm going to have a sneaking suspicion they're going to have higher keywords than you, and that's a bad thing. So let's see. I'm going to say 2,200. Let's see how close I get. 1,600. So still 1,600 to your 1,500. They're still beating you, and they're not running any sponsored keywords. Zero. Zip. No sponsored keywords, and they're out competing you purely off organic. So I would say the next thing to do on this listing is to really laser in your focus onto the competitors, do a keyword gap analysis. What words are they indexed for that you're not? And then change the text on the listing. For example, you were really focused on fogless. If we put the word fogless into chat right here on the competitor listing, how are they doing? 126 keywords. They have a lot of them in the top of the SERPs. And some of these are extremely important, including fogless mirror for showers. So data says focusing on fogless, good idea. So it validates what was already done. But I guarantee you will find something that you do not index for that somebody else does. And I think that's what you're going to have to go figure out and go review. Texas, thank you for the super sticker. How to go around Amazon, not allow package on the main image. So I really don't think this is prohibited. I don't think there's any terms and conditions that says you can't use the packaging in the main image. Um, in fact, on what we just looked at, showed you that there was a listing with a package and a main image. If you're getting an error message or a suppression, it's probably not the packaging causing the problem. It's probably the cropping that's causing the problem. For example, if this is the cropping of the main image, look at my hand right here. The moment I go off screen or I touch the end of the screen, that's called a bleed. If you bleed off the image like this, it will get suppressed. Keep it within the bounds, right? Stay within the bounds of the image like this. Very, very important. Texas Tech, I really don't think loading a package shot in the main image should be troublesome. I think it should go right through immediately. If needed, though, do a template file upload. That might help you, but I'm really surprised by this question. It should not be a challenge at all. Sasha, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining the My Amazon Guy fan club. Hi, Stephen and everyone. Will ads run on this product if it's out of stock but has a pre-order option? Yes, they will still run. I've seen it myself, and this is generally a higher ACoS play. Most of the time, you don't want this to happen, especially if it's in the honeymoon period, and you're going to want to turn this feature off. There is a way to turn this feature off. I forget it off the top of my head, but I do have a video on it. It's going to be something along the lines of wasted ad spend, something like that. So look for a video that has some of those language in it, and you can turn off the pre-order option for ads sake. Otherwise, you're going to waste some ads. You could also just pause the campaigns and take pre-orders. That's fine too. But I think it hurts your honeymoon period. I would set the release day out in the future. Now, if this is an item coming back in stock, I think pre-order is fine, but I would leave the PPC off so I wouldn't waste the spend. Ryan Goo, thank you for the sticker. Can you review my ASIN? Absolutely. So let's type it into the chat here. I love doing ASIN reviews, guys. Load me up on these. These are fun. All right, so we got a Lux. We got some nice wine glasses here. Bar set on the more expensive side. Fine glassware. We got a nice sleek box. Notice how they have the packaging in their main image shot. Further proof it's a good idea. Very contextual. I know exactly what I'm getting from this shot. Very well done on the main image. I'm a big fan. The spoon, I think, is a little probably could use a little bit of Photoshop on the lighting on the spoon specifically, but otherwise very well done. We got a face shot, but his eyes are closed. Kind of looks a little drunk, a little abbreviated. So I think this is the right idea, but I would probably have him look at the camera. These are nice. This is a good shot as well. I think that I would put at least one more picture of people using the glasses. Although in your category, you can get away with what you've got currently. I think it's just fine. You'll probably have no problem with your conversion rates without any changes. Honestly, I think these are probably above the standard. Missing a video, definitely want to get a video added. I think the set of 4 is probably repeated 3 times. Get rid of the set of 4 the second and the third time. I think there's way more important keywords that could be done here. Champagne glasses, Manhattan, that's fine. If you index really well for Manhattan glasses, champagne glasses, I would go ahead and say Manhattan champagne glasses for cocktails. And I would get rid of the repetition. In the early part of your listing, that was probably appropriate. I'm not questioning the past decisions, but I am suggesting where you should take it from here. 1,800 keywords indexed. Very good there. Let's scroll down and see. You're missing the brand story. Got to get that brand story in. That's a new module in A+ content. Highly recommend that. I mean, I like the relish here on the side, the greenery there. That's pretty good. But a little bit lacking on humanization up here. I do like the bar shot. That's a really strong shot. But I think you need more lifestyles. I think that's a little late. Lots of text on the listing. I like the classic triangle bullet point aspect here. Very, very good. Let's look at the image. The bottom product comparison shirts, these images are not cropped correctly, and you can see this one has an off-white color here. So this is a modest miss. What I would do here is have like the checkout button right there. Let's see. How do I word it on my listing? I forget off the top of my head. Let's go to one of my listings here and scroll down. If anybody's got a new mom in the US, buy this product at $30. This is on fire sale right now. We're having trouble moving that product. So here's what the brand story looks like. For those that don't know, you can click on this right button and check out all this other stuff and click on additional product. And then as we scroll down, get this. So you have a very wide shot. It's a vertical position, but it's a wide photo. You can take advantage of that by putting in some CTAs like this. I'd probably do that on your listing if I were you. And I would also add more things into your product comparison chart. So 4-pack versus 2, bar spoon included versus not. Those are good things. But what else can you tell me? Is this American made? Is it high quality? Like, talk to me more about some of those things. Get more keyword iterations placed into those areas. Let's check the alt text. Filled in, that's really good. You've got some misspellings, it looks like, potentially. So that's really solid. So you've got the alt text. Let's look at, so the golden ratio, little lights here. You need more SEO indexing, most likely. And I think part of your challenge is you've gone really deep on some of this with the repetition, and you probably need to go a little bit more shallow and broad, most likely. We look at the organic rank 20 through 50. What would be an important keyword to focus on? Plenty of words to do SEO phase 3, strike zone updates. Sort this by, well, right there, cocktail glasses. That's probably going to be one of the most important. And as we sort that, champagne, cocktail, plastic, don't want to probably do that one unless it is plastic. Cocktail mixing glass. So there's just a lot of opportunities here. Let's go back to the title. Do we have the word mixing in the title? Mixing, no. So here's an opportunity right there. We've got cocktail mixing glass. You're in the 30s on this. This may not be a pertinent best product keyword for you. Yeah, these are the actual mixing glasses. All right, so that was a bad choice, suggestion on my part. But cocktail glasses, let's see how this compares over here. This looks a little bit better. Yeah, I like that. So cocktail glasses, I think you had an exact match of this one already, though. Yep, it's right there. So let's see how many times, though. Quite a few. We got 19 iterations. I know this can pick up some sponsored products as well, but still, nonetheless, multiple iterations in the A+ content. So this is what we're talking about by having multiple frequency. Still not moving up the SERPs, though, so that one's a little difficult. High competition, probably the reason that's not going so well. But if we looked at something where you're paying attention to pineapple glasses for cocktails, maybe this one's a little bit more important. The shape seems to be really pertinent here. So they're actually looking for the pineapple shape. So that may not be a perfect one-to-one. Yeah, probably not. So same idea, though. You go down this list, you look for the highest volume keywords, you rotate them in, and then you put them into the listing with direct exact matches, up the PPC bids at the same time, and try and rank the product better. So this one, cute cocktail glasses, you're in position 1 sponsored, 35 on the organic. So, and it's a $5.95 on this, but let's see if you have the word cute on the listing. All right, I found one for you. Found one, Ryan. Get the word cute into the listing. It needs to be somewhere on there because you're in strike zone distance, minimal amount of effort, and you can slide that one into a bunch of locations. So, Ryan, I think you're in really strong position. Done a lot of good things with the listing, but you got a couple things you can do there. Thank you for the sticker, Michael. Appreciate the supports. Great meeting you in person at Powwow. You look great on TV too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the compliment. Really appreciate it. Makes me feel good. Makes me want to do more of these. So I appreciate that, Michael. If he's got a question, we'll get that in queue here. Sydney, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that as well. Lee, thank you for the sticker. Ravi says, when I design a logo, how can I check whether this logo is not used by another brand? Ravi, by default, if you're designing the logo, unless you're taking cropping images or What are they called when you download some of these snap files or whatnot? I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head. But as long as you are physically designing the listing yourself and the logo yourself, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Keep in mind that logo infringements are very uncommon. You would have to do something like use the Apple logo in the technology field to cause a concern or a problem. So I think you'll be fine whether the logo is not used by another brand. This is super low probability, not something I would be too concerned about. By the way, guys, for those that don't know, we have filed over 1,000 trademarks at my Amazon guy, and we can help you with a lot of the trademark needs. I don't actually recommend logo marks. If it's your first trademark, I would recommend a word mark. There's a lot of reasons for this, and it's because the Amazon team that interprets your trademark, they typically misread the logo and they add additional things in there, and then your brand name on Amazon gets screwed up. So recommend exact match word marks. They're faster as well. If you're doing like your second brand, you're going to launch a new brand here, there's a reason why word marks are far superior. So check that out, myamazonguy.com. Click on the trademark service right there. We also do them in Canada, as well as the international trademarks through the Madrid system for any country. These are all good for brand registry purposes, but only in the US can you brand register in under 7 days. No longer need the IP accelerator. Check us out for that service. Rolando, thank you for the super sticker. You guys are awesome today. Appreciate it. Must be on fire. Must be giving some good content today. Ravi says, if I want to put a city, i.e. New York, below the brand name to show the brand comes from New York, do I have to manufacture the product in New York? What are the restrictions using city name? It makes it easier for the trademark office to approve your request if you have New York in the trademark name. I've seen a lot of pushback if you use, if the product is not originating from a location and you use the location name in the trademark name. So I generally don't recommend that. If you could articulate or argue to the patent and trademark office that you are using the New York style, I think you could probably make a case, but you will expect some pushback. I don't think there's any automatic acceptance of that, unfortunately, Ravi. But I mean, I like the idea. May not work, though. When looking at an auto campaign and no orders have been generated off a specific keyword, what is your cutoff for clicks when you make that a negative exact keyword? Generally speaking, I usually do this around 20 to 25 clicks. Each category a little bit different. Obviously, if you're selling higher ticket items, that threshold could be as high as 50 clicks. But a low $20 item, 25 clicks, no sale, that's a good enough reason to at least lower the bid substantially, if not possibly negate it. Now, here's the good news. When you look at the search term report on a broad match or an auto campaign, you can get some aggregate data, right? You can see multiple keywords that all have something similar in common, and you can extrapolate using multiple keywords data to see if there's a trend line. For example, you might look at the data of a beer glass, and then if we see that the word shot is showing up multiple times, we know that the word shot is not going to work. Even if I only have 3 clicks on this one shot glass keyword and 5 clicks on that other one, but if I have a collective 25 clicks across these search terms and no sales, might be safe to assume or deduce we can negate the shot glass keyword. So Rolando, when you're looking at the search terms report, definitely do some filtering and see if you can see trend lines. Because if you're on the fence about a keyword, but then you look at that filter and you add that keyword to the filter and you see multiple iterations all with the same result, you're going to get off the fence and know to take action. Vice versa, maybe you do this and you see 5 other keyword iterations that are similar that do well, and this one doesn't. Give it some more time and see what happens. Really great question, Rolando. Sydney, thank you for the sticker donation as well. We got another ASIN review coming up here, and we're going to be staying a little bit late today. You guys are super hot and coming in fast, so we'll be staying a little bit longer today, so stick around. So we're going to be doing another ASIN review. This one is with the Red Light Therapy Face 4-in-1 Facial Massager. All right, so here's another example of showing the packaging in the main image, guys. So I think we've hit that one home. It's very clear that it's doable. So the only thing I don't like about this main image is that her eyes are not looking at the camera. I really wish it was. You could make an argument that having a beauty shot, it's a little trendy or cosmetic kind of thing. So I think you could make an argument to not do that, but I generally would recommend it. I think your secondary images are a little weaker. You're showing the before and after, totally get it. But I'm not sold on the format. I think that I don't like the color mix. I think that it's not like pleasurable to read this, right? So we're going from this shot. It's very modern. It's very sleek. And then we're going to this. This doesn't feel modern or sleek to me for some reason. There's something cosmetic about the design here. Let's go. So microcurrent, heat, vibration, LED. I do like the formatting of trying to like express it. But one thing that this image is missing is it's not showing me. Like I don't have any show and tell. Where does the microcurrent come from? Can you draw a line and show me? Where does the heat come from? Can you show and tell me? Can you show me like a, so like see how on the main image here, we have like a little light up. There's no light here. That's missing. LED light therapy, the light's off in every shot except the main image. I think that's a miss. I do like this kind of showing. Okay, so apply the serum. Boom. Now we're showing how to use the product. Okay, the light's on that shot. See results in 2 weeks. Okay, so there is some sort of show and tell. This is a little bit better of a show and tell. This is too factual. Not enough show and tell. All right, so here we got the show and tell a little bit better. We got the arrows and the drawing of the 360, and you can kind of see that. 5 minutes a day, long-lasting battery life, sleek wireless design, great for travel, charging stand. Where is the charging stand? Is that the charging stand? It's not. So where is the charge? You're pointing at it, but clearly that's the charging stand right there. So I think there's just kind of like a discombobulation in the secondary images. There's not like a real clear goal of the images. I think you got a couple of model shots, but there's not like a congruent story or message. Also, you have one additional photo spot you could probably fill in here. See how we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images. You're missing the 7th. The video should be right there, I believe. Let me just gut check that and look at a random listing here. Bad example since I'm getting the A/B test on that one. Okay, bullet points are a little sparse. They're a little short. I think you could probably fill those in more. You have some syntax errors. There's a space here, not a space there. You're losing some continuity. You don't start them all the same way. So I think I think you need an editor, Sydney. I think you need somebody with high attention to detail to just comb through the full list. We found a couple of oddities, the base stand, the spacing issue. So I know we're going to find more as we go through. Keyword selection here, pretty good. Anti-aging device, no repetition. I like that. It's very easy to read. We got facial device. So I bet you nobody searches the word device. Let's find out what the data says. Also, we're going to look at so this is a item that used to be in stock and came back in stock, but very lengthy, 530 all the way. Yeah, you were out of stock for a year here. So this is a recovered listing. The sales rank is very weak up until basically the last week. So you're really focused on the attention here. Price is on the high side. And then we've got some units moving here. Notice how you had the list price and the actual price the same, but now once you're lowered price down, do you have a strike through on the price? Nope, not on this particular instant. So maybe lower the list price until you see the strike through come through. That might be beneficial. Obviously, you've turned the listing around in the last week, so that's a positive thing. But bullets are on the weak side. You're missing the brand story. Make sure you get the brand story in there. All right, so we got kind of the artistic shot here. I do like the pose. There is some consistency between that and the main image. We're not seeing enough about the red light. This is the most realistic shot on the entire listing right here, where you can see like, hey, this is the target demographic that's going to actually use this. It's somebody with wrinkles, right? Like some of these other shots, the women are a little younger. This is the older shot that's a little bit more believable. So we got a how to use it. What are the reviews at? 8 reviews. So there's a lack of social engagement. You've got the steps repeated both in text form. So yeah, there's just a little bit of attention to detail missing on the list. They let you get the .org on there, which is probably prohibited. And you got the spec sheet. You're missing the product grid. I don't know if you got multiple products. Let's look at the store here. And there is a really solid store with a video. I like that. Kind of repeating the same imagery. The store is stronger than the listing, in my opinion. This is the first time we're seeing the accessories. Where are the accessories? Why aren't we seeing that anywhere else? That's a huge thing. That's really important to the consumer. Why would we not see the accessories anywhere else? I would run some A/B tests and maybe even consider putting the accessories into the main image, like off to the side. We've run a lot of A/B tests where accessories win and are very, very helpful. All right, so let's go over the keyword data here. Upside down, you're at a 2-to-1 ratio instead of a 1-to-2 ratio. So instead of having the golden ratio, you got more like the bronze ratio. Your indexing is super weak. This is a conversion issue on the keywords. And I think once you fix some of those attention to detail issues, it's gonna fix it. Let's do one quick strike zone keyword, see if we can find something. Sort it by search volume. Face massager, you're in rank 45. You probably have that one pretty covered. Red light therapy for face. This is probably the keyword in question that you might want to focus on. Let's go back to the listing here. Here we go. We do have an exact match on the title. Check that out right there. I was on the storefront. And we've got exact matches to that in the bullets. So clearly you're paying attention to the data for you to have zeroed in on that. So that's a really good stop with that. Couple high frequency wand for acne. So that would be another keyword to zone in on here. Let's go back to the listing. You missed this one. So let's see how much acne references. And is that correct? No acne references? So you're going for wrinkle and anti-aging. Data shows, so is this high frequency? Not seeing frequency mentioned. So there's a high frequency right there. So my guess is that you probably made a choice to not talk about acne on purpose. And if that's the case, avoid that keyword. But you are advertising on, you are indexing, so the consumer finds it relevant. Data shows search volume trends are way up for this. That might be something worth looking into. You might want to check that keyword out and maybe do a little bit more work on that. All right, so spent a lot of time doing the ASIN review because of the high donation on the sticker there. We'll definitely do that and help out there. Barack says, Amazon has sent me an email. Get started by adding a great product title to the product detail page for each of these 5 products. Enhance your product title. Does it mean my title is not good? I have not seen that email myself. Sometimes the field is missing. Maybe what you need to do is go look at, see if you have like a duplicate SKU with multiple SKUs on the same ASIN, and maybe it's not filled into one of those locations. That's my first guess. Enhance the product title. It could mean that they have data to show that you have a lower CTR, and you may want to check your search query performance report to see like what's your market share on the impressions. If it's dropping when it goes from impressions to clicks, if you have a bad CTR, then the title could definitely use a refresh. If you want to share one of your titles to me, I'm happy to take a look at it and give you my opinion as well. Got a negative review, but the customer used the product wrong. It's not a mistake. It's a feature. Anyway, I can contact the customer to delete the review. This is hurting my sales so much. It's a new product. In complicated tech products, there's so much work you have to do as a consumer to go out of your way to help them understand how to use the product. You're going to have a product insert with clear instructions, tell them what to do and what not to do. So they're going to feel ashamed if they do the not to do part. You're going to want to have the secondary images, the A+ content. So on the red light therapy, you saw multiple locations, geography of the listing, really hyper focused on how to use the product, right? That's a really important fact. And so if you don't have some of those things showing really how to use the product, you have to take extreme ownership. Really good book, by the way, right behind me. And you're probably not going to get that product review removed. That's the truth. So you're going to have to go really out of your way to just tell them how to use the product. It's got to be in the bullets. It's got to be in the A+ content. It's got to be in the secondary images. Sell into the objection as much as possible. Lee Shi, thanks for the super sticker there. Question 1 of 2. My IPI is a little more than 300 for 5 months now. That's a really low score. What should I do? I manually check and remove any unfulfillable inventory every day. My STR only dropped under 2.0 for about 10 days during 5 months of time. Most inventory under 90 days. All inventory under 180 days. Try to contact seller support, but not super unhelpful with canned response. Please advise. Lee, based on the data that you provided here, I bet you it is a turn rate issue from the last 6 months. So it's probably something that happened longer ago that's still kind of on the listing and the history there. They do take past data into account. I would recommend moving as much inventory as possible. Keep in mind, Lee, that a removal order does not help your IPI. It just prevents it from being penalized. It doesn't move the IPI from 300 up to 305. It just prevents it from going down to 295. So this is one of the widely misunderstood things I think about IPI scores is people are like, well, I removed all my inventory. I don't have any stranded. Yeah, that doesn't actually help your IPI score. It just prevents it from penalizing you. So you probably have low sales on the account historically. You need to move some inventory. You're probably moving less than 200 units a month would be my guess. You really need to be moving 1,000 plus to really make a dent on the IPI score. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed you prefer to launch trendy seasonal items rather than evergreen niches. Why is this? I would prefer to have successful evergreen items, but I'm a really agile marketer, and I just do better with trendy stuff. I can see the trend, I can extrapolate, and I ride the wave. My best sellers do better with that. My mom box, I did 144K in 4 weeks when I first launched it 2 Mother's Days ago. Only did 65K the second time around. I do have some evergreen products, but the consistency of evergreen has been harder to maintain in the gift giving category for me. Also, I've tried to launch some other products. I've tried a chef knife. I've tried kitchen utensils. I've tried lots and lots of things and have not had success. So you have to launch 3 products to get one successful. Most of my successful ones have come from trends. Can you go take a look at my listings? Asks Eli. Happy to do so. Let's take a look at it. And if we get lots of ASIN review requests, we might have to do like ASIN review requests only by donation, but we'll see what happens. All right. So personalized return address labels. I think you need to show a packaging shot. It's not a very contextual. I don't know how many pages I'm getting. I don't know like that these are labels. It's very text heavy, very difficult to understand what this product is very quickly. It's customizable. That's cool. Got some reviews. It's a low price. Those are favorable things. Missing human shots, not showing how the banana for scale or me putting the label on. I think you need a human shot in there for sure. Missing the brand story, product description. You got the product grid. This is my favorite part I've seen so far, showing the multiple color options. Probably need a larger parentage option because you got the multiple quantities, but you've got multiple colors down here. I could go either way on that. Sometimes it's better to have split parentage and not dual parentage. So think about that. Don't necessarily just go with it. I do like the order now buttons. That's clever. Big fan of that. Lots of text. That's favorable. Very much text. A lot. Okay, geez, this is one of the longer A+ contents. That's a good idea in my opinion. I think that's really, really important. I don't like the commas here, but that's super minor. This is a nice, beautiful shot. Let's look at the alt text. It's filled in. That's beneficial. Make sure you've got Spanish there. Brand story, biggest thing missing. Second biggest thing is going to be the humanization. Let's click on the keyword gap analysis and see what that looks like. And then we'll go to the next question here. 600. So you have a 1-to-1 ratio. So there's at least 600 more words you probably should index for. Your ranking on the keywords is a little low, which means you probably have a soft run rate on the BSR. Let's take a look at that. That's actually a really good BSR for that low keyword ranking. So I think you have a challenge with that. Looks like you raised your list price. That was beneficial. Do we have a strike through? No. Maybe pull the list price down just a tad. Maybe go down to $12.99. See if that helps with a strike through on that. Other than that, you need more keywords indexed. Do a keyword gap analysis compared to your competitors. See if you can pull in something from them and see if that helps them out. Jimmy says, does anybody in chat have any freight forwards they can recommend? My last freight forward ripped me off by $7,000 by saying my shipment was DDP. Only once it got to the U.S., they sent me a huge bill for duties. Freight on board, FOB, guys. Definitely want to get that. That is a major bill to be receiving on the back end. Sorry to hear that, Jimmy. Logistics and freight forwarding, very, very difficult. Please, guys, load up those suggestions. Let's see if we can help them out. Becca says, or Texas, can you review my ASIN? Yes, let's get that one queued up here. All right, so big day for ASIN reviews today. I'm enjoying it. Let's see, I typed that one in wrong. Found it. Okay, again, another remain image with packaging shot, further proof. Ranked 1,000 in clothing, very hard to rank items in clothing, high competition, lots of SKUs. Your checkmark emojis, I think in this instance, probably could be better off if they were not just check marks, maybe use some fashionable ones. I like the fact that I can tell exactly what I'm getting. Very good choice here. We're missing some face shots. I got one there, two there, but I wish I could see a little bit more of the face. I want to see how beautiful this woman is. I want to see, yeah, so we got a little bit more of a shot here. So this is kind of like a Christian emo shot, if you will. And okay, so we got a contextual shot. We got, I like this. This is a good video shot showcasing kind of an unboxing, putting it on. Very well done video on that. The title. Okay, so here's the Spanish. We're in Spanish here on the main title, really focusing in on that MD Modern store. So you're going for the Mexican angle, but we're showing not really a Mexican, not a Mexican, not maybe, I'm not sure, kind of a little Asian, maybe Mexican. So I would go a little heavy. If you're going to lead the title with Spanish, it needs to be like super abundantly clear. That's the target demographic. And I would emphasize it a little bit more and chase that because you don't want to be off-putting to the culture that you're chasing. And they want to see people that look like them, right? So if we look at some of the history here, pretty stable listing. It's been about the same for some time. You've messed with the list price, messed with the actual price a little bit, but nothing of concern on the BSR. You've got the brand story, but I would say this is pretty unoptimized. This kind of looks like it was just kind of thrown into the mix. I think you can do better on the brand story. There's a lot of good, sleek brand stories out there. You need to have the right-hand click-through. You need to show me the other products you offer because surely you've got other products you offer. Yeah, this is really nice. I like that. Why is that shot not being used? It's a really nice shot. Okay, so as we scroll down, we're showing kind of both for men and women angles. With jewelry, that can go both ways sometimes, showing it going for both. Sometimes you want to have a men listing. Sometimes you want to have a women listing and use the same exact product two different ways and then market it accordingly. If you ever go down to Target or another grocery store and you look at Dove shampoo, you see it's sold to both men and women. You got a men's shampoo on the left, and it's a big giant bottle. And you look at the right on the other side of the aisle, it's a tiny sleek bottle for women. And by having the same exact product, you look at the label and it's the same dang ingredients. But the female version, they charge more. That's because you got to market to your customer and chase that customer avatar. So go all in on women in one location, go all in on men in the other location. And here we have going both ways. And I think that's a mistake. Modern design cross earrings. Yeah. So like the secondary images above were all women. And then down here, we got the kind of the cool. I mean, like this dude, I mean, he's an attractive guy, right? And he's got the beard. I mean, it's very good lifestyle choice shots, attractive models. But I don't like the formatting. Good choice of these guys look like celebrities to me. They might be. I don't even know. Perfect gift. She's looking at the camera. She's smiling. That's a good choice. But I just feel like there's something missing with like the design. Like this starts out really strong, and then we kind of go down here. This is on the weaker side for the design element. Good choice of model, just like I don't like the graphic. This is kind of okay, but I think this shot could be like a smaller graphic and maybe show multiple angles, which is kind of the same idea down here. So maybe not necessary. All right, let's go over to the keywords and see if we can find something of value. And don't forget, if you haven't used Helium 10, you need to. It's the most powerful tool. Use promo code MyAmazonGuy50. Organic keywords are upside down. This is very common in the clothing and jewelry category. Very, very heavy on PPC focus. But it is upside down. It's not using the gold ratio of 1 sponsored to 2 organic. It's in the bronze section. It's underneath, right? So there is some indexing questions. Clearly, we're seeing a lot of Spanish keywords come up here, and that you're ranking very, very well. So you may want to go heavier on the Spanish. Let me go back to the listing here. How much Spanish do we have dedicated? Not as much as I would have expected. So clearly you're crushing it on the Spanish. Maybe go a little bit more all in on the Spanish, potentially based on the keyword densities that we're seeing here. Maybe there's some other Spanish terms that you should chase. Yeah, I mean, just all over the place. Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. So clearly chasing Spanish for Christian cross earrings is a really smart idea to go. Let's look at the strike zone keyword, see if we can find an opportunity for you. Cross men earrings. So this is so what you're going to notice in this category is there's a lot of low volume keywords that kind of show up. And that's a big Spanish term. Look at the 36,000 search volume. For those of you who are not paying attention to Spanish right now, here is proof that you need to be, right? Just I mean, 36,000, check it out, right? Hanging earrings, men's cross earrings. So there's a lot of opportunities. So if we did a control F on the listing, it's right in the title. That's really good coverage. Black cross though, how about that? Let's check that out. Boom, it's right there. Do we have a second instance though? We do, right on the brand story. So you got a lot of good things going in here. Cross earrings, black cross earrings for woman dangled. So this is a super exact match. Let's see if you even show up on the top of the page. You do not. So I bet you this is probably an area of opportunity. Boom, we found one. Earrings for woman dangle. Which was it? Hold on, let's go back. Black earrings for woman dangle. So there's an opportunity keyword, getting an exact match into the A+ content, 1,300 search volume. You're in the strike zone. That's probably going to work out for you. I know you're probably super focused on cross though, and I wouldn't be surprised if you continue that Spanish focus and the cross focus. Wouldn't be surprised at all. But give that a whirl. Brand story the brand story needs a rework. I think there's some cosmetic design elements that could be greatly improved on your listing. All right, we got 3 last questions in queue. Make sure we didn't miss any of the sticker donations. Please do an audit and double check that. Got a fresh one coming in from Ovo. Thank you for the donation. Becca says, when selecting run again on expired coupons, I received the following. Internal error. We're sorry, but we encountered an error while processing your request. So Becca, sometimes the coupon can't run again because of a various bug. I would simply hit recreate on the coupon and set it up from scratch. I bet it'll go right through. I'm not sure how to troubleshoot this without visually seeing it, but I would literally just try and recreate it from scratch. See if you get an issue with that. Report back if there's any further challenges there. Justin says, how do I get the small business badge if I have the Australian company? Keep getting knocked back as seller support says, I'm not domestic to the US. So unfortunately, there is no solution for that. It's only US based sellers to get credit for that. Sorry about that. And then did Ovo have a question he asked? I know we got the donation from him. Just to make sure we don't leave anybody hanging. You guys have been a great crowd today. Lots of great questions. I'm going through the questions queue myself to see if there's anything in here. It looks like we've got a pretty good job of covering things today. Got some questions on inventory coming off of LinkedIn. Slow moving inventory. There is a business that is focusing on liquidations. I met one at the AMZ Powwow, so there is some businesses coming up. So that's not bad. All right. So could you please show how to use the search query performance KPIs? How can we use these to form strategies? All right. Happy to do that. So to kind of show and tell this, I'm going to use my ICAP graphic here. The ICAP marketing funnel is impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. And the key here is you go to the search query performance report, you're able to see your market share for each one of these layers. And if you are losing people at the click level and you have a higher proportion at the impression level, this means that you have a main image problem. You need to focus on the price and the title, but most especially the main image. The relevancy of the click is being lost to the competitors. As you go through, if you have a problem at the add to cart function, you have a conversion issue. Somebody did not add it to their cart. That means your secondary images, your pricing, the A+ content, and other conversion elements were a challenge. Finally, let's say you have 5% of the market share on add to carts at a particular keyword, but then it goes to the purchases and you go down to 2%. This means that people really wanted your product. They added it to the cart, but at the end, they bought something else. They went and left. They abandoned you. That means you lost them due to anxiety. So you need to sell into the objections that this product will solve their exact problem. And that's a problem that your product is well positioned to solve for. So depending on which layer has the problem, if you have a tornado, that means that you have a conversion problem. You're losing them as they go down into clicks, add to carts, and purchases. If you have a pyramid, that means you have a traffic problem. That means your click and your add to carts are bigger than your impression share on the market. So it's a pyramid shape. You need to focus more on PPC and driving traffic and putting exact match keywords. Here is some examples of a use case that we did. So sage candles for cleansing house. Here's the ASIN. In less than 7 weeks, we tripled our market share across the category. We had what's called a pyramid. The impression share was smaller than the clicks, add to carts, and purchases. You have this data in the search query performance report. It's the most powerful data that we've ever seen coming out of Amazon at the keyword level. You need to pay attention to this. You need to be reviewing this at least once a month. I recommend looking at it every week because there's new things and movements, and you can see where your competitors are targeting. And if all of a sudden you lose market share on a particular keyword, you can take evasive action and you can come in here and figure out where to focus. Maybe you have an issue with the main image because your impression or because your click-through rate is bad. Maybe you have a problem at the impression level because you're not spending enough on PPC or you're not indexing or ranking the product well enough, high enough in the search results. So we have a longer extended video on the ICAP marketing funnel. Geraldine will put that in the chat for you. You can also just Google ICAP marketing funnel, my Amazon guy, and you'll find it. If you like today's show, please put into the chat what you learned, what you liked. We really appreciate that. And visit myamazonguy.com if you want to look at hiring us or talking to us. We love you guys. There's so many things in the work. We're going to have sellercentraljobs.com coming out here in the next month. We're adding more MAG courses at mag-school. If you haven't done our SEO, PPC, or other courses, check those out as well. And my name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. We'll see you next week, every week, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. You guys have been great. Thanks so much.